going on with Xbox Game Pass, which should be interesting. Good to see you. How's your morning going? I know I'm hitting the unemployed and the European. It's early hours, and I'm hitting the unemployed and the European, and sometimes the both. Cheers to that. This is tea, by the way. And the Australian and the Asian, I guess. That's true. And the people who are at work but don't want to do their work. So I guess it's an eclectic mix. I certainly watched a lot of Twitch at work, but I worked at Twitch. So I could never tell. How easy or hard it is. The thing is, when you were at Twitch and you watched Twitch at work, people would walk by and think you were working. It's hard to tell. It was an easier time to get away with it. Thank you, Nerium, for the 10 gifted. Golly. Big A, I'm playing Ghost of Yote. It's fire. That is one argument I'm going to try and bring up with Lina Khan here as I press her again, as the New York Times said. I do think that, for all the worry about antitrust in gaming specifically, gamers been eating good. It's been very hard for the big, powerful money companies to really stop gamers from getting good games at a good price. Its quality's up. So worth talking. Worth bringing that up. But 70 viewers, GOAT is washed. If I had 70 viewers, that would put me in the top, 0.1% of this hell website. And I have more than that. So don't try to find... It's gonna be a lovely day. I don't know why it says 1600 on my thing, but it could be 70. And if it is 70, then we'll have 70 true Lina Khan fans. Why is your light strobing out? I don't think it is. I don't think my light is strobing out. Well, that's just too dark. No, I don't think my light is strobing out. I think you just blinked. I straight up think you blinked and said, why is it like going black for a second? What the hell is this? Deval, thank you for the prime. Big A, I tried Sour Patch Kids. That shit is not sour at all. Little worms are so much more sour. Let's go. Let's go. Is this an ad? Do you work for Little Worms? The point of Sour Patch Kids is not to be the absolute sourest candy. That's for a weird Amazon thing you can buy that gets shipped in a weird bag. Sour Patch Kids are a great combination of sour flavor, taste, and snackability. You can down a whole bag of them easy. All right. Why are they called Sour Patch Kids? Because they are sour, just not extremely sour. Okay. Why is Twitch playing Trump ads? That's just personal. I just added those. I had to support the GOAT. Okay. You know me, and there's one thing I'm trying to do with this stream. It is push Donald J. Trump onto the youth. I've been on that game. I've been on that wave. Did Lina Khan reach out to you? Not that it matters. We're friends, okay? But yeah, she did. Well, her team. People like that, they have teams, bro. They all have teams. H-Shark, are you gonna mention the shutdown preventing the stopping of mergers? Yeah. I wasn't, so you just said that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great thing to bring up. That's a great thing to bring up. I will bring that up. But again, I think it's a short call. I want to set expectations here. I think it's like a 15-minute, 20-minute call. Something in like that. And they really mostly want to talk about Xbox price hikes, which I also want to talk about. So it really is no problem. Lina can't find Act 3. Well, she's going to have a tough time getting help from me. She's going to have a tough time getting help from me. I sent Yeti a message on Discord Last night when I was wandering around, what did I say? I said, Yeti, I truly am stuck. I don't know what to do. And he just like, you Pepe laughed or whatever. So I didn't get any. I just ended. Can you ask Lina Khan who's your favorite lemonade stand host? I don't want her to say Aiden. I don't want her to say I don't remember any of your names. That's what I really don't want. Are you worried that chat will impress her and replace her? No, I'm actually worried about the opposite with chat. I made sure to set up my thing so the screen I'm sharing to her on Zoom is not the one with chat. I don't want her. Well, what's a glizzy? Why? Is there a coffee cow tariff or something? No. You should play Fortnite with her to spite Newsom. Bro, guys, you guys are laughing at Governor Gavin Newsom now until you see his skills at Fortnite. And then it's going to be a problem. Then you're going to have to fucking put some respect on his name. Once he starts tearing up the battle bus from minute one, he's going to thank the bus driver Insta, and you're going to know he knows ball. You're going to know he knows ball because he's going to thank the bus driver instantly without anybody saying it. And you're going to be like, wait a minute. I hope he can riff off of Connor or the dim party is cooked. If the future of one half of our political process requires Gavin Newsom to riff off of Connor Eats Pants in Fortnite, then we're already cooked regardless. We're so completely cooked if that's what it hinges on. If that's the single Jenga block. What an insane thing to say. What an insane thing to say. I do think Gavin Newsom needs to be having more FaceTime one-on-ones with the Rizzler. That's for sure. That's a fact. Gavin Newsom needs to. Connor is a kingmaker. You don't get it. Remember the Elon Super that is weird? Bro, I don't think you remember that story well. The guy, everyone thought he was Elon Musk. Connor interviewed him like he was Elon Musk. And then everyone found out he wasn't Elon Musk. He's just a weird dude. He's just a weird dude who sounds like him. And so that was what made him disappear, bro. It was only interesting when everyone thought he was Elon. It was a paid actor after Elon got caught. No, I think it was actually. I mean, listen, Elon's been caught in enough, dude. It turns out there is weird super fans in. Where was he from? Like South Africa? He was from somewhere. They found his like family. They found his whole thing. Germany. He was Germany. Yeah, he was Germany. No, he was from Fiji. He was German from Fiji, and his parents owned like a big factory there. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the whole Adrian Dittman story. Will there be a big A costume for Halloween? Well, you'd have to create that. I guess you have to dress like really suave and wear like the chillest clothes and have like a really cool hat that you could get at failcodes.co. I guess that is what you'd have to do if you were trying to. Bro, never thank me. Oof. Horsebox, thank you so much for the 27 months. It means the world to me. Also, I really like your profile picture. Wait, you have a sick Hollow Knight profile picture. Wait, I was being sardonic and sarcastic, and now I think it's goated. You've also been following since 2021, which means you watched the original Hollow Knight playthrough. All right, PogChamp, appreciate it. Guys, we're about 15 minutes away from LinaCon joining. Well, and then after that, I want to discuss these AI slop wars between Meta and OpenAI and YouTube and TikTok, which I think is very, very interesting. And then after that, maybe we talk about Russia, NATO, and then after that, I have to go. I have to go around 3 p.m. to make a flight. So, ask her if she can do a backflip. What if instead of asking her, I just do a backflip on the call? Would that be cool? Like while she's talking, she's like explaining something really important about antitrust, and then I just like do a backflip. And then I mess up the backflip and I break my spine right here on the cam. That could be interesting. You're no speed. People say I'm the white speed. Or maybe they just say I do speed. I don't know what it is. How do you feel about the Game Pass pricing before the hike? Well, I already made a video about this. I'm kind of discussing it. You know, we could probably find it actually. Wait, Atrioc, Blizzard, Microsoft. What does this mean? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Oh my God. Look at this guy. Was even bald back then.
The Marketing Monday on
oh yeah, I remember this. This is when I was still using the whiteboard.
the money they make from those industries to subsidize. You have to understand, they expect to make that money back. They are not doing it because Sony are bullies and we want to be heroes. And so that leaves us kind of here. And again, I cut off a part that I...
Well, that says it all. Yeah.
A little more discerning. And guess what? Even now, it's already happened.
Wait,
This is the fun of
Oh,
the
yeah.
loss.
Look at this.
Sony can't afford that. And as has been shown throughout all of recorded human history, whenever these subscription services get a critical mass of users, they start raising prices.
Well, that's pretty spot on.
And the deals that were previously fucking amazing. Like, remember early Uber? Remember when Uber could drive you anywhere in the city for $5? Remember when Netflix used to cost $5.99? Well, now it doesn't. Netflix knows it can. This is the fundamental way they do that. Small incremental price changes over time. And I think we should just be clear that neither of these companies is your best friend. Neither of them have an interest at heart. And both of them want to do this, but only one of them has the...
I'm glad I pivoted to my new tagline. Companies are your best friend. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I like my new stance.
Financial resources from a massive unrelated industry to make it happen. One is so much bigger than the other that we have to be on our guard. We have to be a little more discerning. And guess what? Even now, it's already happening. This is before they've even started to begin their plan. The Game Pass price hike is already coming. And this is the beginning. This is not even phase one. Imagine later. I just want people to fucking think a little
Imagine later.
bit longer term than the shiny thing right in front of their face that a company promises them. If a company spends $70 billion on something, you have to understand they expect to make that money back.
All right, well, that says it all. Do we really need to interview Lina Khan when we can just watch old Atrioc? He kind of summed it up. He kind of summed it up. All Atrioc is old Atrioc. Hey, Drop Spindle and Ask. What do you think of the new Taylor Swift album? I think that people should be able to enjoy things. And though I am not personally deeply understanding of Taylor Swift lore, I think if you like it, and that's cool. Okay? That's what I think. Crazy take. How do I vote for old Atrioc in the upcoming elections? Yeah, well. Nah, don't. Politician answer? Fine. I loved it. Fine. You want the real answer? I loved it. I listened to the whole thing. I wrote down all the lyrics. I studied them. I found out the secrets. I put them online. Okay, fine. You got me. Oh my God, what's your favorite? Stupid question, trick question. A real Taylor fan knows that you don't have a favorite song. You have a favorite song of the moment. Okay? It depends on what your mood is when you're listening to the album, and certain songs will strike you. Okay? And so picking one as the best one is foolish. And that was a dumb question. You should feel bad. Okay? Name a lyric. Easy. Showgirl. Showgirl. And the. Okay. So, interesting. Very interesting that you've tried to test me 3 times now and failed 3 times. And now you have to admit that I'm a huge Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie. Now you have to admit it. So interesting. Guys, I am worried because I'm idling in the call, the Zoom call, and she's just going to join in the middle of my conversation. I don't want to be talking about. I would prefer not to be talking about how I'm the world's biggest Swiftie. I guess that's fine, realistically. Mute your Zoom mic. That is a good call. That is a good call. In fact, I will mute both. There we go. What is your opinion on Clancyville? Don't get me started on. Do you think I should ask Lina Khan about Clancyville? Do you think? You know, it's not that I don't think she would agree with me. I just don't know if she's ready. It's like a very heavy subject talking about the oppression of the people in Clancyville. There's like forced monopolies there. Dan Clancy owns every business. And they're all monopolies. I feel like it would almost break her spirit to know that she's fighting so hard to make America better, but there's an even bigger challenge in Clancyville. Do you see how that could be a problem? This bit is getting old. I got a new bit, chat. What do you think about this one? It's where I ban people who talk shit about the Clancyville bit. What do you guys think about this bit? It's so funny. It's one of my favorite bits. It's like a hilarious. It makes me. I can't. I +2. I lose it. It's so funny. It's like a bit with a message because it keeps Clancyville in our hearts and minds. All right, we're coming up on the discussion here in just 10 minutes. That clip from the old video really summed up my thoughts. Though I do need a refresher. I'm going to ask her. You know, I looked it up to try to get my mind going again, but I don't remember all the details of the FTC's case. They had more than just price increases. You know, they mentioned that like Activision might try to block Call of Duty from being on PlayStation and other services. They mentioned that there's some other things that haven't yet happened, but could happen. Like it's only been a little bit. So we'll have to bring that up. Use Grok to summarize the case. Yeah, I'm just reading off Grok. Lina, what do you think about the woke mind virus and how that affected the merger here between Activision Blizzard and I'm seeing that a big part of the FTC's case that it was too woke. How long we have her on her? Just 15-20 minutes. Just a little call in to discuss the Xbox price hikes, maybe a little more. I do want to hopefully bring up the Saudi Arabia $55 billion purchase of EA and maybe the New York Times article, but I'm also going to tell her that Hitman is a game where you fly around. And that'll be my main talking points, you know, the things I want to get it off my chest. And then I will talk about after Lina Khan call is over, I will discuss the vibes and Sora 2 and all that, which is I think a very interesting discussion. I'm also interested in chat's thoughts on it as well. Raza Beatty, thank you for the prime. Thank you for the prime. And then we'll talk about NATO and Russia. I hope you asked the tough questions as you did last time. Yep, we're really going to press her as we did. I'd be scared for this interview if I were you. You think so? This is actually, of all of the interviews that I've done, the least nervous I've been. I guess maybe Chad could ruin it for me. But this is a pretty short call, and it's about one subject that I'm pretty well versed in. So I don't feel uncomfortable. But we'll see. What if she's nervous? You ever think about that? What if she's like, holy shit, Big A? The Big A channel? I wonder if that's big miss on not calling this segment Lunch with Lina. Dude, can you imagine if it was just me stuffing my face with a big old sandwich and chips while Lina Khan tells me about antitrust? Just macking into the mic on a lettuce bun burger. That's content. That is content. How much of her work is still carrying on? Honestly, more than you'd think. There is still big active cases against some big tech companies. I do think that a lot of her staff, not all of her staff, but some of her staff is still there, including my friend who I'm going to bring up. But yeah, definitely Trump has soured the mission for sure. The new FTC. It's not as focused on antitrust as it was. But they did win a case. Yeah, they won the Amazon Prime case. $2.5 billion settlement. That's pretty good. Over deceptive Amazon Prime program. Although that's nothing for Amazon. Still something. I guess something. $2.5 billion. Nobody sneezes at. Chilean Zat, thank you for the 18 months. Thank you for the 18 months. Much appreciated. Did he supposed to get sentenced today? Bro, I have a true sign of, you know how I said I made a video called Max Stupid? It's gotten so much stupider. I heard from the FT that Diddy and someone else are doing like an AI startup from prison. Yeah, Miles Gao, a convicted billionaire from China, we're both in the same prison and they're planning a startup pitch. I mean, it's true Max Stupid. If they raise any money, then it's like, what the hell kind of bubble are we in? This is crazy. I don't know. That shouldn't attract $1 of investment capital. I can't believe it. Did you interview Toby Fox at Twitch? I did with Scar and Toph, who I'm going to see today. I'm going to see my good buddies Scar and Toph today. I'm flying to see them. We're doing a hangout. We have a yearly hangout. Airbnb, play old games, talk shit. It's gonna be fun. There's some other people too, but it will be very fun. I'm very excited, and I need a break, dude. I know you guys think I'm the hardest working man in the world, but I actually feel like this week's been hard, and I'm tired. I'm not sleeping well. I need a break. I need to take a break, or I'm gonna burn myself out. Okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Can you ask Lina Khan about how to overturn the antitrust rulings against architects setting public rates? I'm finna get paid. I don't know about this. I don't know what you're asking for. But it sounds like those rulings were good and you just personally want to benefit. Can you promise if I get those rulings overturned that you'll use the money to buy gifted subs? Can you promise that? Because I'll happily overturn some great laws if I can get some more gifted subs out of it. All right, we are 2 minutes away. Bump, bump. Oh, let me get my Xbox Game Pass articles ready to go. There it is. Okay. Okay, little context as Lina Khan is about to join, just in case you don't know. Microsoft upped Xbox Game Pass to $29.99 a month, $30 a month for the ultimate tier. They also rebranded the tiers to Essential and what was the other one? Essential, Premium, or Ultimate instead of their old core and standard subscribers. So it's a pretty significant price increase. $30 a month for the stuff you used to get. And a lot of like the big selling points of Xbox Game Pass, like day one for new big releases, are only on Ultimate. So I want to give a specific example because I'm not sure Lina Khan will know this reference, but you can buy Silksong right now for $20 on Steam, or you can rent it for 1 month for $30 on Xbox Game Pass. It is actually a horrible deal. Like, if you are interested in a specific new game, this is actually a horrible deal. And $30 a month is getting pretty close to what a full game costs. So you're going to have to like you have to be really using it to make it worthwhile instead of before where it was a pretty good deal. And this was, no, we'll talk about it with Lina Khan. We'll talk about it with Lina Khan. We'll talk about it. Are you going to multi-stream? Yeah, it should be here. All right, it's noon, so let me just check the email, make sure there's no issues. Let me check the email, make sure there's no issues. Okay, I think we're good. I'll just chill for a second. If I get ghosted, pretty sad. I don't have to like let someone into the call, right? That would be bad on my end. Just making sure that it's not me. It seems like it's. Oh, perfect. Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, Lina Khan, welcome to the broadcast. Let me get this on the screen. Perfect. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, great to be here.
This is awesome. Appreciate having you on. I know you have a short amount of time, so we can jump in. I was just catching my chat up on the Xbox price hike situation, and I do think, you probably won't say this, but the way I wanted to frame it was, this is kind of an I told you so moment from your FTC, because you guys made this very, very clear in your suit against Activision Blizzard and Microsoft that this is what they would try to do the second the eye of the government was off them. So I don't know. Is this a victory lap moment for you, or are you more sad about how it's going on?
I mean, look, I know a lot of people, derive so much joy from these games, the gamer community, game developers, and it just seems like, ever since the ink dried on this agreement and the lawsuit going through, we've seen, rounds of layoffs after layoffs, rounds of price hikes after price hikes. The price hikes announced this week are a 50% price hike. Like, that's pretty stunning. Just a few days after, a top Microsoft employee acknowledged that Game Pass is profitable, right? They earned $5 billion in revenue, like the business is doing well. So unfortunately, it does seem like, as we see in so many industries, once you allow big players to consolidate, they can become too big to care and just start extracting money because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reaction from gamers is pretty vociferous. People, there's a huge game that released this month that costs $20, and now you can either buy it for 20 or rent it for 1 month for 30. And so we're seeing people question whether or not it's worth it to keep the subscription. So I wanted to ask, I do want to ask, because I am fully on your side in support of antitrust. Is there a chance, though, that this just is a huge backfire on their end, that it sort of takes care of itself in that people have other choices elsewhere?
It's possible. I mean, we'll see, what market impact they feel. I mean, interestingly, one question that came up as we were pursuing the lawsuit to try to prevent the Microsoft Activision merger was this question of whether an independent Activision would have made its content available through subscription or cloud gaming services itself. And the trial suggested, yes, that they would have. And under oath, executives admitted that, yes, if they could make the commercial terms work, they would. And so you can imagine a situation in which if Microsoft had actually been more constrained in the market by other players with by other firms that also had, big gaming libraries, would they have been able to do this? It will be interesting to see if they have to backtrack here. But the series of price hikes that they've done suggests they feel pretty emboldened.
Yeah, I mean, I would say from a gaming perspective, there really is no competitor in the cloud space. And at the time of your lawsuit, I think the judge or the court ruled it that it was such a nascent industry that they didn't think it was a big enough deal. But as it becomes more and more important, it's very clear that there is nobody challenging them. And so they
Right.
can raise prices at will. So yeah, that is what gamers are noticing. Though I do think, you know, from the outside POV, it does look a bit like Microsoft has been burned a bit by this drastic, possibly overpaying for
Mhm.
Activision Blizzard, and is trying to recoup their losses, and may in fact get burned by. I have a quote here that I wanted to share with you from a notable developer who runs Larian Studios, a big popular game dev studio, and they said probably a good time to remind people that making games faster and cheaper while charging more has never worked before. And I think there's a general sense that this could just not work. I mean, this could just not. I guess is the I think gamers may. I think they have a lot of options. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
They have outside of cloud, they just have the ability to buy games on Steam or buy games full price, which is not much more than 30. And there's so much competition in that area that this, while ruining cloud, could pay off okay for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And whether the entry barriers in cloud are so high as to whether we're going to see real competitors emerge there, or whether, Activision would have been one of the players with the most natural shot of doing that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, so I'm trying to recall all the facts of the original case. This was one of the things you guys directly predicted, was that they would consolidate power and raise prices. Were there other things you predicted would happen that have happened or may happen in the future? Like what are the things you think are the next steps from Microsoft having gained this power?
I mean, we talked about the impact on game developers as well, right? One of the arguments in the case that we made was that Activision had been a platform neutral company, right? And as a result, game developers also had more pathways to kind of get to market. And one thing we argued was that if you allowed this merger to go through, it would basically allow Microsoft to become more of a walled garden. We may see more layoffs, we may see more price hikes, we may see kind of more degradation of certain games, and that just generally the way that competition encourages companies to kind of, just be fighting it out in the marketplace,
Yeah.
that all of those factors would just make it so that Microsoft didn't have to try as hard. And even while even before the final appeals court had issued their opinion, Microsoft actually started announcing some of the layoffs, and the FTC was like sending letters to the court saying, they told you that they weren't going to do this, but guess what? They're already doing it. And
Yeah.
so yeah.
I mean, I just looked up, I had made a video back around the time of this trial, and we watched it before this, and they were already doing price hikes during the trial. I mean, they were doing small but steady price hikes, and now they're doing massive ones. So it does seem like all the signs were there. I wonder why, in your opinion, well, I guess two-part question. Why do you think this didn't resonate with the judge? Like, why did this not get through? And then number two, do you think this proof will be more helpful in the future, that like this example from Microsoft will be able to win more cases in the future?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Okay.
And I think sometimes judges, I mean, this was a huge deal, right? It was like over $50 billion.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes judges just feel a lot of pressure if they're going to be like the person that stands in the way of a big deal going through. I
Right.
think, it can just make them sometimes a little risk averse. As people bringing the suit, you have to tell a good story. And, I'm sure maybe there were ways that the FTC team and we could have like made it more compelling to the judge if it wasn't resonating. But I think at the end of the day, like so much of this comes down to predictions, right? I mean, merger enforcement is hard because you're having to predict what's going to happen. And, ultimately, I think the judge, even though she acknowledged there was a possibility of harm, she just gave the benefit of the doubt to Microsoft in a way that I think history should just make us very weary of,
Yes.
So you're right. Let's add this to the tally.
Yeah, I think that's the crazy part from the outside is it just feels like we've always given the benefit of the doubt in one direction and it hasn't really paid off for us. So I wonder why we can't try the other way. Give the benefit of the doubt the other way and see what, because here's what I think. I mean, Lina, it looks like the only people that benefited from this are not even Microsoft. We'll see yet. It's just Activision Blizzard insiders like Bobby Kotick who were able to cash out at an absurd price for a company that was in trouble, that needed to compete and do a better job. It feels like they were the main beneficiaries. Gamers have lost. Microsoft seems to be scrambling to recover an expensive investment. Competition is down. I don't see who wins other than a few elite insiders at Activision Blizzard. And so it feels like this could have been, done differently. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe gamers should email the judge or send a link to the Reddit, thread with gamers kind of commiserating. I do think that sometimes there isn't like a good feedback loop, right? If judges kind of do give the benefit of the doubt to the companies, and then the companies go out and end up kind of screwing their customers, their workers. There's no real accountability. There's no real kind of coming back, in terms of being able to undo the deal oftentimes. So it's tough.
Can I ask what part of it you think was, this is a total gut check, but the sense I feel from my audience and from myself is that often regulators don't even, their eyes glaze over when talking about gaming. They don't understand it. And it's like a space that's hard for them to get into. And the market dynamics of it are not well understood. So I'm wondering, was that a part of the trial? Do you think it was difficult to make the how consumers use and buy these goods understandable to the judge? Or do you think that was got across?
It's possible. I mean, we had, a fantastic set of lawyers on it. And one thing that I really, really pushed for at the FTC was making sure that we were actually like learning from the people who use these products, right? And not just doing like a high level like legal analysis and just looking at it from the perspective of the companies, but actually like spending time in like gamer threads, right? And understanding like what is happening on the ground here. How are the people who are most going to be affected? What has their experience been so far? What do they think is going to happen? And so I do think that there was sensitivity to that, but it's possible. I think the other thing is honestly, these are judges that are seeing all types of cases every day of the week, and it's possible that when it came down to the stakes of this, maybe this one judge, didn't think that a big gaming merger, even if it did end up harming people, was going to be as, devastating as something happening in the healthcare industry.
It is devastating.
Yeah.
We're devastated. It's a big deal on the gaming side. I mean, I think people who, here's what I'll say. This is an interesting part of it to me, is that now public opinion is firmly on your side. Like, people are very much understanding that this was a bad merger and has gone poorly. But I fully remember the general consensus of the gaming community around the time of this lawsuit was that the FTC's lawsuit was frivolous and that Activision Blizzard's a failing company. Microsoft will prop them up and save them and bring back all the great games we love and help the employees do good things. And that was the general idea. And people thought, oh, I'd love to get Call of Duty for a cheap price on Game Pass. And I remember all of the comments being mostly positive for this. And now, as the layoffs continue, the new games haven't been what were promised, and the prices go up, people do understand what you were saying. And so I hope we can like help hammer that home for future situations like this. People can remember they got burned before. This is a relevant example.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, sometimes the way I learn that Microsoft is doing another price hike or layoffs is that gamers start posting like apologies to me on Twitter. And that's how I learn. I'm like, oh, I guess Microsoft must have raised the price again.
Hey, speaking of apologies, I think that was the main thing I wanted to ask you about with the Xbox price hike, but I did want to get it in because I know you have to go. We did an interview on Lemonade Stand, and I don't know if you saw, but would you describe that interview as adversarial or positive?
I had a great time.
That's what I said too. So the New York Times was an article about it where they described us as pressing you on antitrust as if we were some anti-FTC podcast. So I just wanted to get across that that was.
I guess it's good for your journalism cred of kind of being hard hitting or something,
Yeah, I guess so.
I did not personally feel antagonized.
Okay, perfect. And then last thing I wanted to ask is if you had any thoughts on this recent $55 billion Saudi Arabia acquisition of EA. They've gone private at an absurd valuation using primarily money from the Saudi wealth fund negotiated by Jared Kushner. I wonder if there's any top of mind thoughts from you on that.
I mean, look, it's part of this broader trend of kind of financialization, consolidation, kind of creeping in everywhere. It is a really big number. The fact that the kind of Saudi sovereign wealth fund is involved means it is going to get government review. You have to kind of think about, are there specific national security implications? The antitrust enforcers might take a look. The fact that the president's son is involved kind of raises questions about, can we make sure these are going to be done? These reviews will be done in an even-handed way. But yeah, I mean, I do think that it was interesting. I was reading some analysis of what Microsoft did, and somebody was like, is this kind of the enshittification that we're seeing in video games, right? And I do think that more broadly, we have seen that as things become more consolidated, as they become more financialized, unfortunately, sometimes things get worse if companies feel less accountable to the customers. And so, I just hope this is not just another instance of that.
Yeah, 100% agree. Although I do want to say, as someone in the gaming space, this year has felt remarkably good because of people outside of the enshittified consolidated titans. I think I use gaming as an example of what a competitive market can bring. People in gaming have a lot of opportunities to say, candidly, fuck this, I'll go elsewhere. Where they don't have it, a lot of other, like, for example, for cable providers, I have nowhere else to go. I'm completely consolidated. They can raise prices at will. But I do feel like EA and maybe even Microsoft in this case are going to get burned more than people think. They are finding consumers are not as trapped as they are in other industries. So yeah, it's a positive side to gaming, which keeps it exciting for me. But yeah, I do agree overall. And I know you have a time limit, so I just want to make sure there's anything else you want to discuss or say to the audience.
No, great to be here, and my commiseration for the Xbox gamers, the Game Pass gamers who are suffering these price hikes.
Lina Khan, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great day. Bye.
Take care.
Guys, W. Gamers rise up. That was really nice of her to do. I really enjoyed talking about that. I'm sure there's questions I missed, but that was cool. So you guys have any more thoughts on the Xbox game thing that I didn't? We should talk about it a little bit more. I want to make sure that we get it across. I think her points are well-founded. And again, I didn't want to emphasize it too much, but the truth is that she and her team called it dead on. They called it, they wrote it down, they screamed it in front of a judge. They said over and over again, they will raise prices the second they get this consolidation. I said that once, but I literally wanted to make it clear. They called it from the beginning. And so, yeah, we should find a way to get the message out. Indie devs are too OP. But that's the thing. Not that I was trying to be New York Times pressing Lina Khan, but I truly do think that of all the industries that I have to buy things from in my life, gaming is the least I'm worried about monopolies. I think that's the least in my whole life. I don't fear someone spending $100 million on a game and trying to force me to play. Like, it's Concord. If they make trash stuff, I can just go elsewhere. Silksong was $20. It was a perfect deal. Like, I can just ignore your shit game. So I don't feel so worried about gaming versus everywhere else. But I do think her point is very strong about cloud specifically. The truth is there's no other cloud providers. There's NVIDIA GeForce Cloud, and there's who's the other one? It was like Google Stadia died. Amazon Luna basically dead. Like, it's just Xbox. So of course they can raise prices. They're dominant. I paid $100 for a year of Ultimate in March and I barely use it. Yeah, and then, at the end of the day, you look back on the money you spent and you don't own any games. It's nice to look at your Steam library and go, wait, I have 200 games that I own. They're mine. I bought them. With cloud, I think it's pretty frustrating. It's unlimited games, but no games. Not owned on Steam. Yeah, I've heard that, but in practice, right? In practice, you can play it as long as you want, whenever you want. You can modify it. It's a little different than as long as Gabe lives. I mean, true. I do think, you know, because I was doing the pushback, I was like, gaming is pretty competitive. But I think so much of that rests on the fact that Gabe Newell is alive. So much of that. Because again, I still think Steam's 30% cut is too much. But Steam overall is hands off, takes their cut, runs a good store, has sales, and allows a competitive marketplace to thrive. They overall do a solid job. Now, again, I think they take a little bit too much, but they do an overall solid job. And that is alone is enough. But once he's gone, if they start to inshitify Steam, then we're in trouble. Then we're in more trouble. I got Xbox Ultimate and then just use it to play Slay the Spire for 300 hours over a year. That's a $15 game. So you paid Ultimate prices every month for a year when you could have spent $15 just to buy the game. Dude, I think a lot of people are noticing this, though. I think a lot of people are having this same feeling. Oh, by the way, shout outs to, can we get a not like this in chat? Everyone, please drop an emote not like this. The world famous Ben SW is in chat. He is a former employee of, I should have mentioned it. I'm sorry, I was on a time crunch. Ben, and I wanted to get all my questions out because I know she had to go. But I wanted to mention it. Former employee of Lina and a good friend of mine who I'm going to see this weekend. I think Game Pass can be worth it to try $70 games for a month, like COD. Yeah. It's not that it's not worth it, especially before this price hike. I would say Game Pass was like really worth it. The problem is that you really want the people that own the platforms to be different than the people that make the content. You want Activision Blizzard to be shopping their games around to different cloud platforms instead of one cloud platform owning all the game developers or a lot of the game developers, because that allows them total control and can raise prices. If, you know, the golden age of Hollywood, for example, is when the studios and the movie theaters were separated by antitrust. So the studios just made movies and the movie theaters bought them. Okay? And so it kept ticket prices balanced. It kept creativity in movies more broad. You didn't just own all the theaters and show the crap you wanted to show. It was, I don't know. I think that's the point of the FTC's antitrust investigation, and I hope people can understand it. I really do hope, because I wasn't kidding at the end. I remember making that video. This video right here, this Atrioc, Blizzard, Microsoft, 2 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marketing Monday on July.
I remember making this video, and I remember the comments for it. So overwhelmingly being like, yeah, but I like Game Pass. I think it'll be cool they own Blizzard. Like people were overwhelmingly like, nah, I don't think it's bad. I think it'll be cool. Like, people are getting too scared over nothing. And like, and I'm screaming in the video, they're going to raise prices. And, you know, and now here we are. It happened. And the only person that won is Bobby Kotick. He's the big winner. Fucking Bobby Kotick walks away with hundreds of millions of dollars after running Blizzard into the ground. And he smiles, and everyone else gets screwed. Also, I mean, she mentioned it a little bit in our call, but a big part of it too is that, you know, within a few years, probably around 2030, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be a little while, they'll just make Call of Duty more exclusive to cloud, to Game Pass, or to maybe even Xbox. Although I have to say this, Listen, guys, can we be real? Xbox is getting its shit kicked in, like in the console wars. Like, I think all of this hinged on the fact that Xbox thought they'd be doing better, but they're not. They're getting kind of destroyed. They basically gave up. And so, like, this price hike to me feels a little bit less like, oh, totally dominant market power and they're raising it on consumers, and more like, oh, we're desperate. We spent way too much money on Blizzard and we're bleeding money on Xbox and we need money. It feels more like we have to make that money back. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Everything's moving to portable gaming. Dude, even that's getting more expensive. Did you see the Xbox ROG Ally X? This is the new Xbox handheld. Dude, look at the price on this thing. It's a rack. It's a fucking rack, dude. Yeah, another terrible name, by the way. This shit is a rack. It's more than the console. All their price hikes are crazy. Like, the Xbox prices are going up as they sell less of them. It feels like a doom loop. Steam Deck clears? Yeah, it does, I think. I mean, people really like their Steam Decks, and I don't see me talking about this. You can get a Steam Deck for $300. That's crazy. I didn't know it was so cheap. They've given up. They just slapped the Xbox logo on a third-party manufacturer. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like they're kind of giving up and trying to get some money back. But it's just making the few Xbox fans left more and more pissed. So, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Just to continue, to piggyback off of it, I have some deeper thoughts on the Saudi Arabia $55 billion thing. People are talking about it like it's like, oh, what an evil machination. Oh, the Saudis are gonna they're gonna destroy gamers with this. I want to be so real. I think what's gonna happen is the Saudi Arabian wealth fund drastically overpaid for EA. EA, look at this is what EA was trading at. EA stock. Okay. Look at this. EA, before it was leaked that they were going to be bought, it was around here, right? EA stock was at 152. They sold to the Saudis at about 210 a share at a market cap of 55 billion. So around here, they were like 40, maybe 38. So the Saudis, they added like $100 to the stock price and then bought all of the shares. And they paid 55 billion, which is way more than EA is worth or could ever possibly generate. So realistically, they will extra milk FIFA and Madden into the ground. I'm sorry, FC Club and Madden into the ground, and probably just lose their shirt. I mean, they'll just lose a bunch of money. So far, all of the Saudi greenwashing stuff, all of the games washing, has just been drastic wastes of money. Like, I'm not happy about it. I don't think they should do it. And whatever, it's bad consolidation. But like, at the end of the day, gamers can just be like, oh, this sucks, I'll go elsewhere. I don't think they feel locked into having to buy EA stuff. Sports is successful? No, sports is getting viewership, but it's not successful because they are overpaying. I just want to be clear that so far, Saudi Arabia has overpaid for sports contracts, for video game companies, they've just bought everything way above market and not made any money back. Like, everybody else is eating good off the Saudi money, which is weird and bad, I think. But Saudi Arabia is going to eventually wake up and realize they just blew their entire sovereign wealth fund. They're trying to get out of oil. Yeah, I understand that. But the only way to do that is by making smart investments. They can't like overpay for something, then run it into the ground. That's not how it works. Oh yeah. And then, no, this is worth saying. All right. So the Saudi wealth fund put up 30 billion And then 20 billion of the buyout was done with high interest rate junk bonds. So now EA is saddled with debt, has to make more money, and they were valued at something way higher than they were worth. Like, it's a bad investment. I just want to be honest. Like, people are too worried about this. Like, it's some super evil, smart play. It's actually a really dumb play. It's like, I can't think of an example. It's like if I was worried about Stanz's YouTube channel taking all my viewers. So I paid him $30 million to buy it. and then he goes and makes a new channel. And then it's like, fine. Everyone still watches Stans. I wasted all my money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all the great game devs at EA can leave. If there's any great game devs that leave, they can leave. They're not locked in. All they own is the rights to a few franchises that are already pretty shitty. Like, it's not, so it's bad if you love those franchises. That is true. And again, that's the same thing with Blizzard. The real losers in the Blizzard acquisition and the downfall of Blizzard are people that really have an emotional attachment and a love for like StarCraft, Warcraft, the great IP, Diablo, the great IP of Blizzard. If you love those franchises and you can't play something else, but here's what I've found, okay, is that gamers, once they're dealt a shitty hand, a bad game, or overpromise by a franchise one too many times, they do go elsewhere, and somebody steps in to create a like. If Diablo is not serving what you want, eventually you go to Path of Exile. It's like, you love Diablo, you love the franchise, but I'm gonna go somewhere else. If Pokemon's not giving me what I want, I'll go to Power World. It's not. If StarCraft's not giving me what I want, I'll go somewhere else. If Warcraft, whatever. So I think it sucks for those franchises, but at the end of the day, people do have other options. It's not like the early 2000s or the 90s where they're the only game in town. I just feel more positive about gaming. I just think gaming has, like, we can be honest, this has been one of the best years for gaming already. It's been an all-star year, and all the great hits are indie. We got Hades 2, we got Silksong, we got Expedition 33, it's been a good year. We got Mega Bonk, we got Blueprints, there's a Peak. There's been a ton of great games this year, and all of them are from new indie studios that are like able to make tons of money. Clover Pit. So I don't feel so worried. I think unless you're super tied to one big franchise, you can always just say, fuck you. And what I feel is most industries in America, the reason people are so upset and feel so boot on their neck is because you can't say fuck you. You can't walk away from, from your cable company. You can't walk away from a local monopoly. That's something you need to buy. You can't walk away. Oftentimes, you can't walk away from your local landlord because there's not a lot of other options at a good price range. You don't have other places to go. Those are like monopolies that are really annoying. My audio is super low. Oh, really? Hello? Better? Testing? It's fine. I don't know. Audio was fine. All right, I could turn it down. Maybe time it. I got one guide. People are saying it's fine. People are saying it's low. I don't know. Fuck it. It sounds fine to me. I could turn it up a little bit. How about this? On that side. There we go. A little crispiness. Okay? Can you make it 0%? All right. Well, I also want to talk about something else. Let me make sure nobody's freaking out here. Dude, Ben SW, not like this. just messaged me and said, bring your game controller because he wants to fuck me up. I'm just going to go and have these fucking melee grinders try to... Yeah, I'm still going to win, by the way. Just to be clear. I'm a natural. Bernie interview? I would love to interview Bernie Sanders. I do want to say... wait, there's a video. We should watch it. Bernie Sanders did a really good job talking about the shutdown. I feel like, dude, does anyone have this? Okay. I'm so annoyed with how the DNC is trying to explain this shutdown.
Democrat kitties cannot agree on what should be funded.
This is actually a DNC creation.
Republican and Democrat kitties cannot agree on what should be funded. Democrat kitties want you to have health care. Republican kitties do not. Republican kitties control the Senate, House, and the White House, so they're using that to cut your health care and give money to billionaires. Democrat kitty tries to negotiate, but Republican kitty keeps running away. He has a vacation to get to. Uh-oh, suddenly the money you pay for your health insurance has tripled. Thanks, Republicans.
Like, I just think it's cringe. Like, it's not even that it's not true. You know, most of this is what was in my presentation. Like, this is the general gist of what's happening, but it's so cringe. And I don't see, like, the Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries messaging has been terrible. It seems soft. And I would say that Bernie did a good job of explaining why this shutdown is happening and why. I wonder if I can find the video. Because, again, at the end of the day, the reason I was so upset with Congress in general for this shutdown is that it's just another symptom of, like, government being this big, terrible group project where nothing gets done and we all suffer. But at the end of the day, the shutdown is a messaging battle. It's like it's both sides' fault that it's shutting down mechanically. And then it's a messaging battle to get one side to cave. That's what it is. And so if you don't control the House, the Senate, the judiciary, or the presidency, and this is the only thing the DNC has a control on, then you should focus all your energy on having good messaging around this. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, it's the one job. It's the one job. You can't do anything else. This is the only thing you can focus on. I find it frustrating. But I don't want to be caught in this problem of getting too mad at the Democrats when I'm obviously more mad at the guy that's, like, turning every government agency into a Hatch Act violation that says the radical left are shutting down the government. The guy who's trying to fire every employee while they're furloughed. Like, I'm more mad at that, obviously, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating, bro. The GOP Twitter had to repost a photo of the definitions in healthcare terms because they showed how they lied. They lied? We got them for sure now, boys. They lied? We caught them in a lie? It's over. Nail them to the wall. It's finally done. They've been hiding behind their web of truths for so long, but now we finally caught them red-handed in a lie. This will turn the tides. The votes will flip. Trump will probably resign in shame. You think Trump's going to resign after the GOP Twitter got caught lying? I think he's going to. I think he's going to step down. He's going to be like, I can't take the embarrassment. I think we got him dead to rights. Since when you can rewind on Twitch is new. Just wanted to say hi. Eisman Pod episode was cool. I thank you. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. You're talking about Bernie? Oh, I wanted to show a Bernie clip, but I couldn't find it. But general idea was just Bernie explaining the shutdown. I thought he did a good job. I thought he did it. It's like the kitties thing. Here's what I'm trying to say. I think a theme of my content and what I liked about the Bernie video is you can still treat people like adults and explain things simply. You can be like, hey, I know you don't follow this closely because you're a fucking person with your own life and this is not relevant to your life nor most days. So I can walk you through something and explain it from first principles, but not treat you like Kitty needs to do this. You don't have to treat them like dumb as fuck. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not explaining myself correctly, but I think it's like you can not be demeaning, but still be like, hey, I get that jargon will put you off. So let's just start from the beginning. I don't know. Yeah. And like Bernie was pretty good at it in that video. He's like explaining very simply, but like an adult. Here's why we're doing the shutdown. Here's why it makes sense. You know, I don't know. I thought it was good. That's what I'm trying to do more, is that kind of stuff. Look at the views on it though. Yeah, but half the views are people shitting on it. Maybe. Listen, I'm fully down to admit that I don't know what goes viral on TikTok, bro. It could be the thing they need, but I still find it to be cringe. And I'm obviously not an all publicity is good publicity kind of guy. I said that many times. Pox Xavier, they've been 32 months. I'm scared that once Bernie's too old to do what he's doing now, nobody new will fill his spot of explaining the core issues of America in a way that makes everyone understand. No, someone will. Someone always will. Always. There will be people we've never even heard of that will step up. It'll be, yeah, it'll just happen. It'll happen. People rise to the moment, dude. Listen, like I've said over and over again, I'm actually 0% worried as long as we have real elections in 26. If we don't have real elections in 26, then I am worried and there will be problems. But if we do have real elections in 26, I'm actually not worried because the things that are happening now are deeply unpopular. They are turning people away. Inflation is really bad. Grocery prices haven't gone down. People didn't forget. You know? People that were screaming, I want grocery prices to go down, Joe Biden, and I'm going to angrily vote against you, are they didn't forget. Some people pretend it will get better, but a lot of people are still noticing it and they're getting madder. I have believed that since the since the election. I said that in my first video, and it has only become more true. Found you on YouTube. Enjoy your content. Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Game Pass was $20 with Biden. There's the new DNC messaging, bro. Let's get that out on TikTok. We need to have Joe Biden playing some Game Pass and being like, it was $20 with me, Jack. I can play unlimited games at an affordable price. Back in my day. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, Trump, but listen here, corn pop. Just realized I've gone years without subscribing to Big A and I've been watching like every day. But you're a 21-month subscriber. So you haven't gone that long. You have the monkey ball. What do you mean? Oh, YouTube. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like I said, subscribers don't mean anything. I promise. I wasn't joking. I wasn't exaggerating. I guess it's nice to hit a certain milestone because then your channel looks kind of cool. Maybe it helps for guests. So I guess do subscribe, but it doesn't mean anything for like views. You do get the plaque, but honestly, I've had the 100K plaque on my main. Actually, I've had it on both, and I never got it. I do want to do. Hear me out. Is this crazy? I like the way I'm doing things now. I think it's working really well. I like it. We're working on a really cool AoE explained video for the main. We're working on some cool stuff for the clip. I got the Lina interview. It's good. However, it would be kind of fun sometime next year to do like a 6-month push for 1 million on the main. Like really just focus everything on whatever I can do. Because I do think I'm only like 150K away or something, 120K. But after that, I don't want to ever care about it. It would just be cool to hit because then I could buy all my editors the plaque. And we could be like, we fucking did it. But realistically, I'm not kidding when I say it doesn't mean anything. Oh, I didn't get to mention Pablo Torre. That was one thing I wanted to ask her about. She did a great interview on Pablo Torre Finds Out. I should have mentioned it. But whatever. No big deal. What's the realistic point of multiple channels now? I don't know how much clearer I can say it, bro. The point of Big A is to have a video every day. That's the main thing. The point of Big A is so that some people would like a daily video, a daily update. Not 2 videos a day, not 0 videos a day, one video. And so we consistently provide that for people who are perhaps busy or want to have a video during lunch or dinner that updates them on some news. That is what we're doing that. That is the Big A channel's modus operandi. A clip every day that makes you learn or laugh. That was our fucking mission. And we like doing it. It's fun to do. I like focusing on it. I like thinking of new things I can do for it. I like the quick turnaround. You can have an idea, record it that day, have it on the clip channel that night or tomorrow. Like, it's awesome. I like doing it. I don't know how much clearer I can be. I don't. And I have to say, like, just being real, the amount of views in the last month on the Big A channel is more than any channel I've ever had has ever done by 2x. Like it's mad. It's like 25 million views in the last month. In 1 month. It's huge. I mean, it's not, that's 1/4 of a Mr. Beast one video. It's big, dude. It's doing well. People binge the whole damn thing. They watch one video, they binge 50, they go watch the main channel, they go watch the Pop-a-thon. It's a cool system. I like doing it. Pop, pop, pop. Wait till I get my money. Are you managing other channels? No, all those channels are fake. Coffee Cow and Lil A Clips and Big A Reacts and all those other channels are fake. They're all yoinking content. I made a rule. They can't upload anything within the past month. A lot of them break that rule. We're going to have to eventually crack down. The problem is in the short term, I've been lazy. I don't want to have to set the whole thing up to crack down, but we do need to take it down because it is fucked up. But there's a lot of them. You've been saying that for months? Yeah, but I made progress. I found how to do it, and I linked it to Adish and said, can you do this? But then I think I have to give him some kind of permission or something. Okay? So this is called delegating. This is called delegating, and it's the part of being a good manager. Well, I have to say, I mean, we'll get there in a couple months, big dog. Yeah, we will. I mean, to be clear, the person who wanted this the most was Adish in the beginning. At least in the beginning. Adish hated these fucking channels, bro. Adish was coming to be like, well, these fucking rat fucks are stealing your content and uploading it. And it's like, that is how you started. that's what Adish talks like. Pulling the ladder up, bro. An OpenAI employee tweeted this. What is this? Is this guy OpenAI? Interesting. OpenAI MFs will sell in the tender and diversify in the stock market. Sir, what do you think is holding that up? This is saying that OpenAI people own OpenAI stock. It's not public, but you can sell in the tender, which is like private market. You can sell your shares and then take your cash gains and put it right back into the stock market. And what he's saying is if OpenAI fails and their valuation craters, the stock market will also crater. So you're not diversified at all, which is this is a funny tweet. This is very true. If you're an OpenAI employee and you want to like keep your gains, sell your OpenAI shares and buy treasuries or fucking gold or fucking ex-US stocks. Like buying S&P 500 with your OpenAI shares is just saying, I mean, you'll lose it either way. Or Dogecoin, I'm sorry. Or Doge. Gold's up 26% in 6 months. To check the fucking 1.5 year. Best investment I ever made in my life. I don't know where it goes from here. But man, that was a fucking juicer. They made a streaming channel from the Big A YouTube channel. Can you believe it? Can you fucking believe it? What it? Well, she did. You missed it. It'll be on Big A channel tonight, though, if you want to watch it. Lina Khan did call in at noon, and we talked about Xbox price hikes, and it was very awesome. I really appreciate her doing that. I thought it went well. I guess it's only a short call, but I thought it went well. It would be cool if we could make it a thing where around major antitrust stuff, Lina Khan could call in and do a quick explanation. Like she knows her shit, so it's nice to have an expert, bro. It's nice to have an expert. I'd like to get, I'm trying to get, actually, I'm not trying. He asked. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, bro. Steve Eisman asked to be on Big A. He sent me an email. He types like an old person an email. It was like ... How about on your news show? You are. I mean, so he wants to be on Big A, bro. So I might, like if we have a good topic, it would be cool to have a network of people who are like subject matter experts that we could jump in on stream. That'd be fucking sick for content. It'd be sick for learning. Did he ask you to sell him a pen? You're thinking of Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street. You're getting your Wall Street movies mixed up and your characters. He would come on. I don't know if I want Jordan Belfort. It's not like I'm not going to get like Nick Fuentes and, like, it's not just about getting anyone who will get views. It's like about getting an expert who I can vibe with. I don't want to enter the whole, listen, my dream, and it'll never happen. So I know you can tell me my dream is fake. My dream is to one day have a video where all the comments are like interesting, thoughtful discussion on the video. I'm just trying every day to get closer to that dream. Okay. That's my dream. I'm just trying every day. And some videos, they do get a lot. And some videos don't. But that's my dream. That's what I work on. That's my utopia. That's my white whale that I'm chasing. It's good to dream big. Hey, thanks, XDTT Law. Mixed bagel lived the 16 months. It's more of a YouTube problem than a video problem. I'm just talking about YouTube. I'm not talking about here. No, I would never want the Twitch chat to be all serious. Oh my God, kill me. The Twitch chat needs to stay glizzy. But the YouTube comments, I would prefer that. Because here's the thing. Many videos do get interesting, thoughtful YouTube comments, and I love them. I love reading through someone being like, hey, I actually, this reminded me of something that's happening to me at work, or whatever. I like that. That shit's awesome. But with Twitch, you really want it to be more glizzified. You want it to be more goofy. This is more fun, otherwise what the hell's the point? We talked about Sora. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, wait, let's talk about that. Straight up, let's talk about it. Guys, wait, let me set this up. Thank you for bringing that up. That is a big subject. Let's talk about it. I'm glad I got to finally press Lina Khan on how we didn't press Lina Khan. I'm glad we got to fit that in. I'm glad we got to finally, hold her feet to the fire on the fact that we did not press her in the lemonade stand interview. Okay. Request a correction from NYT. That's a good idea. What if I sue them, huh? What if I sue them for defamation? What's this? Wait, what? You're joking. We're making a $1 Trump fight coin for America's birthday? Hell yeah, brother. We are so back as a nation. Wow, I was worried about the direction of this country, but now this is awesome. Thank you, Brandon Beach, U.S. Treasurer. No fake news here. This is in God we trust. It's fucking Trump's face. This is awesome. Fucking great. What's with my voice? I lost it a little bit. This is great. The sheer joy you had from that news, yeah, yeah. I'm so stoked. A new $1 coin, and you know what else is happening? I don't know if you guys. I did a video recently talking about or reacting to the how money works about farmers, and in that video I talked about how is Trump just gonna blow up the farming business to get money from tariffs, to use the money from tariffs on bailouts for the farming business? Well, guess fucking what? This morning, Trump eyeing $10 billion farmer bailout using tariffs. We're going to do it. We're going to use the tariff money to bail out the farmers that were blown up by tariffs. Fuck. Genius. This is such a disgusting warping of the economy. This is like, this is what Argentina did during Peronism. This is disaster. It's just layers and layers of weird through the government restrictions and subsidies. It's this is so stupid. This is so stupid, bro. And then on the top of it, he's taking the rest of the tariff money and he's going to send $1,000 checks to taxpayers. So, inflation's bad, bro. We're going to get 2021 inflation again, 10%. This is crazy. He's going to do it right before 26 probably to juice for the elections. And then the inflation's going to hit. And then we cancel the 28 election. This shit's crazy. This just got me. Got me messed up. Got me feeling some type of way. Does need Congress for this, though. And Congress can't even pass the budget, so we'll see. It's like ordering a slice of pizza and the delivery guy eats the pizza but decides to give you a slice because he feels bad you ordered it. I guess. I guess. I mean, I don't even think we need a metaphor. Just to be clear, what's happening is we had a thriving agricultural industry in America. It was one of our strongest industries. We exported soybeans to China. We exported beef all over the world, but specifically to China. We exported a lot of agricultural stuff. And now we are destroying that industry. And now other countries are buying soybeans from Brazil. They're buying beef from Argentina and Brazil. They're buying from other countries. And so those countries are thriving and getting, growing their agricultural industry. And we're blowing ours up and then using the money we got from taxing every product to bail out these now non-productive farmers. It's just so stupid. It's so short-sighted and and will catch up to all of us collectively. It will catch up to all of us. It is collectively, you cannot wasteful spend ad nauseum. It doesn't, short-term pain for long-term pain. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Like, I'm so down for a government to be like, hey, we need to do short-term pain for long-term gain. But this is just short-term pain for long-term more pain. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. It's like, let's make things shittier now so they can be way shittier down the road. I find that to be quite frustrating. Did you see the Scott Besson thing? Yeah, Scott Besson's text messages got leaked on camera. And he was texting, "Hey, you up?" to Jerome Powell, actually. They have a secret. But no, they leaked his text message. And it was because America's doing a $20 billion currency swap. Yeah, it's a bailout for the Argentine peso. We bailed out Argentina yesterday, and in return, the Argentinian government removed their export tariffs on grain, reducing their price. And they already sold a bunch of soybeans to China at a time when we would normally be selling to China. Soy prices dropping further because of it. This gives China more leverage on us. By the way, I don't know who this is texting him, but this guy's linking fucking x.com as proof. Secretary of Agriculture? Yeah. So it's just all stupid, bro. It's all so clearly stupid. I find it to be frustrating. Just a heads up is very funny, yeah. Hey, just a heads up, this whole plan is backfiring. This whole plan is this trade war with the entire world is backfiring in a myriad of ways that constantly cause us to have cell phones and self-owned. Peep this Trump tweet though. What's this? This is from 2013, where young based God said, "Your dad gives good brain, damn." And then Donald Trump quote tweeted and said, "It's called genes." Damn, he's freaky like that. He's freaky like that. A simpler time. That is funny. That is a hoot. All right, let's talk about Sora. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, wait. Let me see. Let me see. All right. Listen. Guys. You guys know how we've all been asking for more slop in our lives. We've been praying for it. There's one thing we look for in this world, and it's more, we just don't have enough. We've been scrolling and scrolling. We hit the bottom, and we need more slop. And it turns out that humanity is not enough. They can't create enough slop per capita to satisfy our insatiable need. So the market has stepped in. Our fearless leaders in Silicon Valley have stepped in. Enter the age of AI-generated infinite slop.
They're into the hairpin now. Silver still ahead on the red chair, but Tran is tucked right in behind, feet churning like pistons.
Watch Blake in the yellow suit, chair nearly
Cinema!
tipping, keeps it upright, but loses a
Tran pulls to
meter.
the inside, gets the drive out.
And here we are at midfield.
Cinema!
22 cats and not a care in the world.
Not too long, not too short. Next one.
Look at that gray one. Big pounce, no completion.
Coaches are losing their minds. Cats, not so.
He's tied for the lead at
Yeah,
6.
next one.
Putt decides the tournament. Through the windmill, into the clown, then the loop, and in.
Needs perfect pace. Stroke is away. Clears the blades. Mouth open. Up the loop. Drops out. Tracking. What a finish.
Yes!
He cues up an uppercut, costing 24 stamina.
If it lands, Sloane's HP could drop below 300.
Big hit, 142 damage, Sloane down to 378.
And Morales is almost out of gas. Stamina bar sitting at 6.
Yeah!
Every frame's a battlefield.
Just watch.
Enemy 7. 10.
The split that ends careers.
Not tonight.
Next!
Spawn broke cold and mean. Failure wasn't an option.
Go, go, go!
Aisle 7 was hostile. Carts for cover. Eyes on the target.
There it is, last one.
We weren't the only ones who saw it.
If any of these don't make sense or don't feel like they have a coherent thought or story, just turn your brain more off. Just let the eyes glaze over. Just notice that the lights and colors are constantly changing. Something new funny has happened. An animal will show up and do something weird.
We held the line.
Muttering in Simlish, barely audible. Oh, Flan.
And just do this for hours and 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 hours. Now, I do want to say, the tech, some of it was visually pretty crazy, but it is slop. And we are entering the AI slop wars as of a few days ago. Everyone in the world, all the big tech companies, have now, out of the blue, started to bet on AI TikTok. Okay? It started with Meta, Mark Zuckerberg's company, that announced Vibes, a new way to discover and create AI videos. Okay? Vibes. Mid-Journey created AI infinitely scrolling slop. The response was so negative, even from tech bros, that Sam Altman said, I gotta do this too. And 2 days later, they announced Sora, okay, including a flood of AI slop. So OpenAI and Meta are the first two competitors in the ring to create an infinitely scrolling, generating AI slop video. However, they weren't the last. Everyone else wants in on this game, okay? YouTube announced that Shorts will now have VO3, their image generation model, incorporated right into Shorts. So you can have AI slop next to your human slop right there. It's going to be awesome. Grok followed suit. Grok Imagine lets you make not safe for work content. Oh, great. AI slop, but now not safe for work. Perfect. Elon Musk has gone full gooner, by the way. He is constantly posting AI gooner stuff. It's crazy. But that's the only thing they have differentiated themselves because they're way behind Sora and OpenAI. And then after that, we have TikTok, who has created Symphony Generative AI. So literally every single human slop platform is now rushing to make sure there's not even the human part. Dead internet theory is actually going to be real. It's all mixed in. And I don't want to be a crazy Luddite here in that I don't like mogul moves. I don't want to be a Luddite here in that here's the sad truth is that some of these videos, because a human is behind them putting in a prompt, can be funny. They can be funny. But this is a significant undermining of what they've been promising. For years now, they have been promising they are going to change the world, make all our lives better, cure cancer, develop AGI, end the need for work. And instead, what we're getting in the near term is infinitely generated slop videos that drive up everybody's electricity costs. I mean, it is a true bait and switch. It is a true bait and switch. So I want to go through here, all right? Now, the most popular videos thus far coming out of Sora, by the way, I do want to say, there is a clear leader thus far. If nobody is winning, if all of us consumers are losing, the person losing the most right now is Mark Zuckerberg, because Meta's Vibes platform has been universally shit on, and they are losing to Sora. They spent the most money, hired the most people, got a 27-year-old to run their whole program. He announced this. Let's see if we can get it. Alexander Wang Vibes. Look at this, dude. So he announced Vibes. Excited to share it. I'm bored already. Next. Anyway, they created this, and the response, even from the tech bros, give me the slop stream. Tech bro. The absolute worst use of AI. What a waste of compute. Tech bro. Damn, dude, this has like zero soul. Tech bro. Even your fellow tech bros are making fun of you. LOL. Where did it all go wrong? Let's shake drizzle. Horrible, meaningless bullshit. Literally no one on earth asked for. Tech bro. Even people that are like massively pro AI are like, what the fuck is this? It's a total slop. The same thing has been happening with Elon Musk, by the way, when he posts like his AI weird girl assistant thing every day. Everyone's like, bro, this is weird vibes. This is go to Mars. I'm a big Elon fan, but go to Mars. What are you doing? So like, there's a clear bait and switch on the promise. So that's the kickoff with Meta, but the real winner so far has been Sora, because Sora, the OpenAI version, does look frighteningly realistic. It does have very weird, more realistic human capabilities. Although mostly it's been used to create insane memes of Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. like him as Skibbity Toilet.
Skibida, I'm a CEO in a porcelain spa. Skibidoo, skibida. Yes, that's me. Running AI from the back, can't stop. Head above water, flush that tune. Everybody bouncing, Sam in the room.
So that's what you're seeing on Sora, okay? And I think because Sam Altman already looks AI generated in real life, it's really hard to tell the difference. But I think this has been the theme, right? Sam Altman 2 weeks ago, we need $7 trillion and 10 gigawatts to cure cancer. Sam Altman today, we are launching AI slop videos marketed as personalized ads. So as we all head into this future, I wonder if it's a little bit cooked. Actually, I have a counter take that I'm going to give at the end. Let me catch you up, and then I want to give, I think, a more realistic take on what's going on. Okay, everyone's betting on AI TikTok. As of today, I checked, Sora is number 2 on the App Store charts, and it's still invite only. You need a code to get in on it. So it is actually doing quite well. And I think it comes down to a core theme of this AI-generated slop content, which is people will mock it and ignore it and be disdainful of it until they can put their own face in it. And then everybody wants to get it to share a fun meme with their friend. The truth is that ChatGPT had its biggest day ever when you could turn your face into Studio Ghibli. That was the biggest day in ChatGPT's history. And so they, again, people went from doing their own faces to a lot of things, including 9/11 and JFK. Like it wasn't just their face. But once Sora came out, it requires users that sign up to scan their face and give a sample of their voice so it can put them in the videos. Which, you know, I'll take Sam Altman's word. Seems like a bit of a Trojan horse.
People don't even realize they're handing over their face scans to us for free.
Seems like a bit of a Trojan horse, but that's just what I saw on Sora. I'd be a little worried about it, okay? Side effect is that it's uncanny accuracy. I mean, it does look shockingly real, especially if you do like from a distance videos, is making it very easy to create disinformation. Extremely easy and extremely real. It is worth noting that the most viral videos on there right now are fake people robbing stores, including, do we have the one of Sam Altman? Yeah, this one. This is the #1 video on Sora. It's Sam Altman stealing GPUs from Target. Oh, wait, sorry. This one. But like, okay, it's funny in this case because Sam Altman is so desperate for GPU power. But the idea that you can create realistic facsimiles of people committing crimes is probably not good for society, especially when you'll notice there's no watermark on this. People have found out very easy they can remove the Sora watermark. A big part of the OpenAI rollout here is they did a philosophy document where they said, hey, look, I know this looks like an infinite generated AI slop nightmare, but in fact, we're optimizing for creativity. We're going to have a lot of safety. We're going to make sure there's like watermarks so everyone knows it's not AI. But people found out how to remove their watermark instantly. And all this shit's going viral on other platforms. In fact, there was one of a cat stealing a fish that already got like 50 million views on TikTok, and Facebook people thought it was real. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, here it is. Hey! This guy made a brand new account, took away the watermark, and created a fake funniest home video. Sorry, I keep going to the wrong scene.
Hey! What the? Cat just took a fish! Get back here! Police! Move, move! Watch out! Cat heading for the doors! Still moving, south lot!
Yeah, not real. Not real. Completely fake. But shit like this is going everywhere. And so now you can't even have this contained to just the human or the non-human platforms. It's all over. Yeah, you know, the dead internet theory is becoming more and more real. This is fake. This is generated with Sora, and the watermark got scrubbed. So it's a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd. And this again comes at, again, yeah, so the main idea I think is this. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about because a lot of people are gonna have the same take, which is like infinite AI slop feeds bad, and I agree. That's my main take here. But I want to talk more about what I'm more interested in, which is the business side of this, which is boils down to this question, right? If you genuinely believed you were 2 to 4 years away from AGI, is Sora slop really the thing you'd release? And this is a great question. I think what this release indicates to me is financial stress at OpenAI. Financial stress even at these companies are trying to find a way to get a return, to put ads and make money. They need this to make money. Of course, it's for press. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. That's completely wrong. It's not for press at all. It is for money. They are trying to find a return, trying to make cash off this. And Sam Altman himself responded. I get the vibe. Like, people, remember this post right here that I showed? We need $7 trillion, and now we're launching it. He responded to this, and Sam Altman openly said, "We need the capital for build AI that can do science." Okay, not correct English, but we need the capital for build AI. All right. Hopefully we can make some money given all the compute need. They're not hiding it. The truth is that, like, they have an $850 billion planned build out. They've promised money to NVIDIA. They've promised money to Oracle. They've promised money to CoreWeave. They've promised money to a lot of companies who are building out data centers for them. They need this money. They need this money. And so they're trying to find a way to monetize the AI stuff they have now to hopefully build up and get to the AGI they think in the future. But in the meantime, this shit is driving up electricity prices to the moon. Everyone is seeing their electricity bill double. And what we're getting is, you know, I think fairly boring. Again, some of them are funny. I'm not going to pretend they're not funny. The woman, the old woman throwing the stone in the glass bridge is funny. I will not lie. It is funny. I admit it. I'm not a Luddite. It's funny. She's a menace. Although I really think the funny part is the human jokes around it. We can show it. You guys need to see it because it is funny. Glass bridge.
An elderly tour.
Well, this is people explaining it, but you can watch it anyway. They've created a whole lore. How is she not in jail? She's a menace. The human jokes around it are very funny.
Smashed a glass bridge in China. Dozens of people died in the crash. The Neuro video has been viewed more than 100 million.
Okay, I don't need that. We don't need the thing. But they've been creating like 100 of these, and they've been creating a whole story of how she's breaking. So look, there's funny parts, but is it worth the cost? I think not. Clearly not worth the cost. And what I'm trying to say is, my honest take on this is, looking, maybe TikTok and YouTube Shorts can find ways to monetize this by running ads on their platforms and putting AI slop in there. But I have to say, as successful as Sora has been out of the gate in getting people to try it, I don't think they can monetize it. I think the best stuff on Sora just gets ripped, watermark off, and goes on a different platform. I don't think people are actually going to scroll Sora for hours and watch their ads. So I actually think Sam Altman has just created an even more expensive hole to dig out of. He's just running data centers full blast to create AI slop for someone else. I don't think he's found a way to fund his $850 billion hole that he needs. I think he's just created a bigger hole. Like, I actually, as I look at this, I don't see like a really smart, brilliant plan. I think I see a desperation. I see a company trying to find more and more ways to squeeze dollars out of an unprofitable service. And so I guess I'm less worried about it than you guys are, but I am worried about just more and more hard to differentiate slop in the feeds and internet that we use. I do think that's a problem. And again, I don't know if we have the clip, but old people are falling for this shit at a horrendous rate because it adds sound. I think there was a clip that went viral today. Poke Laws sent a video of himself getting arrested on Sora to his dad, and his dad here's his dad's reaction.
What the fuck? He doesn't know how to drive. He have no license. He's gonna kill himself. What the fuck? Tell him not to do it again. This is terrible. What about he got caught from the police or what? What the hell?
So, people aren't going to be able to keep up, bro. I think it's going to lead to a lot of problems, to be honest. But I don't think it's going to save OpenAI's budget problem. Now, that being said, I think we can end on a positive note. Maybe this is a good thing. In the wise words of Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman, the universe is a cruel, uncaring void. The key to being happy is not a search for meaning. It's to keep yourself busy with unimportant nonsense, and eventually you'll be dead. I think we should all just embrace the slop. Okay? Sit our asses down, open up Vibes, Sora, YouTube Shorts, TikTok at the same time, and just scroll away. Maybe you can put a big A clip in the corner if you're feeling friendly. Okay? Wait, this clip is fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. This clip is fucking hilarious. Not gonna lie.
Sir, step away from the door. Hands where I can see him.
Whoa, what's going on?
Neighbor says you just farted on their front door and took off. Turn around for me.
You serious? It was a joke, man.
Hands behind your back. You're being detained for disorderly conduct
for
and
a
harassment.
fart?
Sit tight. Sir, step away from the door. Hands where I can see him.
Whoa, what's going on?
Neighbor.
But it's crazy because, to get this clip, Poke had to do the scan and voice scan. So now forever, Sora, anyone can just generate a video of him doing anything. I feel like that's such a bad trade. it's such a bad trade. Oh, one more angle I need to discuss. This is actually really important. One more angle I need to discuss because, look, obviously we can debate up and down, left or right, whether or not this is good for society. Maybe we all think it's great, and we could all debate whether or not this is going to make any money for OpenAI. But I'll tell you one group of people who are going to be very upset with it. Copyright holders. Because this has been the single greatest copyright infringement program ever created. And Sam Altman, breaking with all copyright law, made the system opt out versus opt in. Which means they just said, hey, if you don't want us to steal and create your stuff, you have to opt out. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Like, if you don't tell us no, we can steal everything. That's not how it works. So this is, I mean, they have, the sound openly steals soundtracks that already exist. The video is openly trained on footage they don't own. There will be some sort of lawsuit reckoning. I'm sure it's brewing. But I want to just give you an example. Like, one of the viral things on there right now is people putting Pikachu in every movie. And you can get a pretty realistic Pikachu in Saving Private Ryan.
Private Pikachu, stay low!
Pika! Pika!
Terrific! We need that nest cleared!
Like, Nintendo is blowing a gasket, bro. They're getting the SWAT team ready. Sam Altman's going to get sniped in his bedroom. So it's look, here's one in Lord of the Rings. Oh god, I keep hitting the wrong thing.
This Pokeball is more powerful than you can imagine. You must take it to Mount Doom, Pikachu.
Good morning, traveler. Peter!
Hi, Mr. Pikachu!
Pika, hold, little one. Got you. Stay with me.
Hold on, little one. Stay with me. Run, Aspelon. Faster.
So anyway, there's a lot of, he added his own watermark, by the way. So yeah, again, I mean, there's going to be some crazy wars brewing. Some of it is funny, no joke. I won't ever pretend it's not. I just think this is not what was promised. This is not what was promised. And I don't understand how they monetize it. That's the second thing. The main things I'm seeing Sora on are platforms they don't own. Again, at the end of the day, it is a tool, and a human with a creative idea can still make something funny with it. But the costs are quite high. Okay, was there anything else I wanted to say? That was the copyright portion. There was the disinformation portion. There was the business side of it. Yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, we'll see let me know what you think. Honestly, let me know what you think in the chat, and then also in the comments below. Are you going to be addicted to this AI slop? Are you scrolling forever? Are you wary? Are you going to use it? Are you going to scan your face? I want to know. Thanks for watching. Funny video about Sora. What's this?
I just saw a video of me getting arrested. Just watch.
Listen up, I'm gonna read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against.
I'm sorry. That doesn't just look like me. That is me. That's exactly how I look. So backstory, my AI persona on Sora is public, so like anyone could use it to make any video, which isn't my best idea, but someone posted this and I had to take it down. If I saw this on my For You page, I would believe it's real. Maybe I was there and just don't remember, because that looks exactly like
Yeah, I mean, people are doing. I mean, I think didn't XQC he made his public and everyone made videos of him saying the N word. Am I crazy? I only saw a clip, but didn't they? I guess you know what's gonna be good is people can use it to they can cast doubt on any crimes they actually do commit. XQC can sneak in a real one and then pretend it's AI. If PewDiePie generates enough bridge AI generations, he can cast doubt on the real one. Ludwig's Indian accent about to go crazy. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay in Minecraft. What's this?
Oh, fuck.
Well, this isn't Sora. This is just someone created this, right? But you just linked me. It's not related to the thing we're all. What is this Nazi SpongeBob? Wait, how do you full screen this? Wait, look. Dude, they have Nazi SpongeBob. That's crazy. That's crazy. With the kid screaming in the background, too, which is just what you want. Oh, they also had like a surprising amount of Rick and Morty stuff. Oh, like where did I link this? Where's the Rick and Morty? Why is that surprising? It was just like, I guess it makes sense for the audience, right? But but it sounded decently like Rick and Morty. Wait, is this
Drop Sora 2.0.
the White House is about to go crazy with Sora? Oh yeah, they're gonna go crazy with it, bro. There's gonna be a ton of White House memes with Sora. Can you make a Sora video? I got a code from a friend who wanted me to do a video covering it. However, right now it's Apple only. So no, I can't install it. And also I don't want to do the face scan. So I probably won't if it's required on sign up. Silk Song bait clip from NL.
But I guess there's like a...
You better claim this is AI, because otherwise I'm going to fucking crash out.
But I guess there's like a cultural endowment effect, you know? It's like once you have invested time in something, you're attached to it. That makes sense. That's how I feel about my kid. So I totally get it, man. Now it's about Silk Song and Megabonk. Silk Song isn't that popular, so they can't be related to those. Megabonk, sure, but Silk Song kind of fell off.
I'm gonna.
You must be confused.
I'm gonna crash out, bro. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna fucking crash out. He's such a Silk Song baiter. Silk Song came out. New man carrying thing.
How is everything?
Right up your alley. I already seen it. We already watched it. What's up, Maisie? Hi, bestie. Are you did you finish your time in the subathon mines? You had to work like crazy. You're free from the subathon shackles? Congratulations. Congratulations. It's crazy you had to run the whole thing while he was at Fast 52. That's crazy. Yeah, you did 17 hours while he was at Fast 52. Sam Altman Sora video? What's this? What is this?
Please, bro. We're so close to AGI. Just 20 billion more, bro.
What's funny is 20 billion is such a small number compared to what they actually want. They want so much more than 20 billion. 20 billion wouldn't last them 2 months. That's a great ending, though. Just one more lane. It's funny because realistically, we all have to hope that the AI slop infinite farms do well, because if they don't, OpenAI can't stay afloat and keep our 401k alive. Everyone's retirement is banking on the fact that the AI slop generators make enough ad money. That's crazy. That's crazy. Guys, okay. Last thing I want to talk about, then I do have to actually dip. Last thing I want to talk about. There's a New York Times video, I think. No, where is it? This is it. Okay. This is the one I want to watch. Okay. Here, high level. Bit of an update. If you guys have not been following, obviously you are aware there is a war between Ukraine and Russia. We've covered it on this channel. You're aware. Ukraine and Russia, it's a vicious, brutal, bloody stalemate with lots of drone technology. All right, we're all caught up. However, the recent, scary thing has been an escalation between NATO and Russia. Russia has, on the NATO side, they've been flirting more and more with the idea of basically taking all the frozen Russian funds and spending it on Ukraine military, which again is kind of a red line that has never before been crossed, that, undermines other countries' usage of banks. We've talked about this before, okay? That's the NATO side. That's the escalation on that side, where they're getting more and more likely to do that. However, on the Russian side, we haven't talked about this. Russia is beginning to do more and more incursions directly into NATO territory. They've been flying into Polish airspace, Albanian airspace. They've been flying, which ones? I have to get all of them. Let me get the list. Yeah, NATO downs Russian drones over Poland. Here, we'll watch the video. I'll probably cover it, but it's been happening more and more. And now, the general idea is that Russia is like soft escalating to test NATO's response, to see how united NATO is, what they're going to do, how they're going to respond. Will they mobilize? What's they're doing? And so it's kind of strange. Like, it's a line that 10 years ago would never, ever, ever have been crossed. And now it's getting crossed like multiple times in 2 weeks. And they're kind of just figuring out if NATO will even do anything. And so I'm here, we'll watch this video and get a breakdown of the boundaries, but it's very interesting and a little spooky.
Russian drones, jet fighters, and reconnaissance aircraft increasingly violate NATO airspace. The bloc is on high alert.
Ale ta sytuacja
która stawia nas wszystkich bliżej otwartego konfliktu, bliżej niż kiedykolwiek po II wojnie światowej.
If Russia is allowed to push...
Again, I think that's a fair way of putting it. The closest we've been to open conflict between major powers, that is, since World War II. In that, you know, Poland, a NATO member, is shooting down Russian drones in its airspace. That is conflict. Like, Russia is not an ally. They are flying military drones into their airspace and getting shot down, which is, you know, an escalation.
Konfliktu bliżej niż kiedykolwiek po II wojnie światowej.
If Russia is allowed to push the limits of what it can do without retaliation from NATO, this could spin out of control.
Here's how Russia is pushing NATO's boundaries and what could happen next. On September 9th, NATO radar and warplanes engaged some of the 19 Russian drones that flew deep into Poland. Within days, Romania's Air Force reported another Russian unmanned vehicle in their airspace. A week later, NATO jet fighters intercepted 3 Russian warplanes that violated Estonia's airspace for 12 minutes. That same day, Germany scrambled its Eurofighter jets to head off a Russian reconnaissance plane that was flying with its transponders turned off over the Baltic Sea.
That's
Days
deep.
Later, drones were reported elsewhere in Denmark,
That's super deep.
including over its main Air Force base, which is home to most of its F-16s and F-35s. NATO said other member states, including Finland, Lithuania and Latvia, also reported recent airspace violations. Some defense experts say Russia is testing the bloc's resolve.
Putin is determined to weaken, if not to dismantle, the NATO alliance. And he's become more brazen in his efforts. And I think at a minimum, the drone attack on Poland was a massive escalation.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, this wasn't one bird that came in. This was 19. A number of them are said to have been specifically configured for that long-range mission, having the fuel tanks larger than necessary for a strike against Ukraine.
If we assume that it is Russia behind these incursions,
What do you mean assume?
one aim could be to see what Europe is actually willing to...
What do you mean assume? Who the fuck else is flying drones from Russian airspace over Poland? It could be anyone. It could be fucking anyone.
To do against such incursions. They're also meant to force Europe to reconsider the extent and the nature of its support for Ukraine. Denmark, for example, has donated all its artillery to the Ukrainian war effort. But if European countries all of a sudden are forced to protect their own airspaces against these incursions, well, then maybe they might need some of those weapons themselves.
Russia has denied that drone incursions were caused by deliberate actions and said its planes didn't cross into NATO's airspace. But President Donald Trump says European...
What an insane thing to say. They did. It's like they did. They were caught doing it. That... I don't know how you can just know. You can't just be like, no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Members of the bloc should respond with force.
Mr. President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
If you shoot down a Russian jet, that would dramatically escalate tensions with Russia and lead to a massive diplomatic crisis. But we don't, frankly, know how Russia would react. And I think that's a step that at least we haven't seen NATO willing to take quite yet.
So far, European countries have chosen a more cautious approach. Following the incursions into their airspaces, Poland and Estonia called for consultations with the North Atlantic Council.
If NATO countries were to shoot down the drones, well, that also poses some challenges. If these drones don't pose a direct military threat to a country, then it's probably riskier to shoot them down because these drones are going to hit something when they land on the ground. And finally, if European countries were to make a habit out of...
What the fuck are we talking about? What? This is absurd. If an enemy country is flying military drones over your airspace and you don't want to shoot them down because they might hit something on the way, who is this guy? We don't even know if it was Russia. What are you saying?
Of shooting down drones, well, then they could quite quickly drain large parts of their missile arsenals.
And there are high costs involved. Some Polish military experts estimate that the operation to take down the cheap Russian drones would have cost around $8 million. And of the 19 drones that entered Poland's airspace, only 4 were downed.
Some Western security...
Yeah, I'll say this part is true. This is one of the big parts that has changed warfare during the Ukraine war, is the cost asymmetry between making drones and taking them down. A huge part of this conflict in Ukraine and Russia has exposed the fact that the expensive high-tech missiles, they can do the job, but they are too expensive per drone. So it's not like you lose long run because they can just make more. It's actually a real interesting paradigm shift that has made drones the key powerhouse of the war. Yeah, they're using lasers. It's a leapfrog game of innovation. But like the old school method was clearly being cost effectively beaten by drones, and now there's new innovations.
Officials will say that what NATO needs is a sort of drone wall to better defend Europe against the drones coming from the outside. But
the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a drone is a good guy with a drone. I think everybody should have their own personal military drone that follows them around. Okay? That way we can all be safe.
some drones are launched from within the country that they target. For example, with the incursions in Denmark, Danish authorities say that these drones were launched in the vicinity of Denmark, not from a country far away.
Let's not forget that, Ukraine has been in this.
I want to bring that up. I don't think they're going to talk about it, so I want to talk about it. The big escalation that just happened, this is like yesterday, was this. There's a Russian shadow fleet in European waters off the Danish coast. Now, this is an unlabeled, unmarked fleet that is Russian that was launching these drones within Europe. And the French Navy pulled these boats over and sent military people onto them, which is like a next step. It's an escalation. Like now there is French soldiers boarding Russian boats. So we're getting into like, the reason I'm bringing this up is like, this is a powder keg. Shit's getting kind of weird. I'm surprised too. I'm surprised on the Russian side that they're so willing to escalate with NATO while still fighting a different front war with Ukraine. Let's see if there's anything worth saying in this. Yeah, I mean, there's just a massive Russian shadow fleet because they use it to export oil unmarked. There's a lot of sanctions on Russian oil, but if they just put it on a tanker that doesn't have Russian markings, they can move the oil and sell it often into Europe or other places. So, what's even the Russian goal? I mean, in that video, they made the case that if Russia makes other countries nervous about their own airspace, they will hoard weapons and ammunition and stuff they would have normally given to Ukraine. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I feel like in the European position, if Russia is becoming more of a threat, you just recognize how important the Ukraine front is and put even more resources towards it.
Business now for a decade, and they've got fairly robust air defenses, and the Russians are still getting a lot of missiles through. What we really have here is not a lack of capability, but lack of political will to respond with, suitable determination and force to compel Putin and Russia into a less belligerent position.
Some analysts warn that while NATO taking direct action could raise the risk of conflict, the alliance's muted response poses a greater threat for the continent.
So I fear that in the absence of a more robust allied response to this Russian incursion, we have to prepare ourselves for a even escalatory step or aggression by Putin against the alliance. He is gunning to break the will of the alliance, to fragment the alliance, by demonstrating through the alliance's own inaction that the alliance has lost the will to fight, that the credibility of its Article 5 security guarantee is no longer there.
And just to be clear, the Article 5 is the idea that an attack on one NATO country is an attack on them all. The thing that makes NATO such a military powerhouse is that every one of the member states agrees that if one of them is attacked, they will all work together to defend that person. And so if that's not true, if they're like picking them apart and like putting stuff in Polish airspace and nobody helps, and then it's actually kind of, it's disastrous. This is one thing that Biden talked about a lot that he was really passionate about that nobody cared about, but the importance of NATO. And I do think it's becoming more real. Like people have to figure out whether they're going to put up or shut up on being part of NATO. Is that a real thing that they they want to put money and time into. It's interesting. Anyway, I wanted to cover that. Thought it was interesting. We'll see. We'll follow up as more stuff happens. That was a crazy Sora vid. Dude, that's what Putin will say, dude. Putin, when you ask him about the jet planes you can videotape flying over NATO airspace, Sora's gotten crazy. AI, not real. What a world. Guys, on that note, I have to go. I'm going to leave you by hosting Connor Eats Pants so that he can take you on a journey with Gavin Newsom. I will be gone tomorrow, Saturday, and obviously Sunday I'm always gone. But I'm going to go hang out with my friends, play some Melee, probably smoke a little weed, eat junk food, and relax. I'm taking a weekend off to do my yearly trip with Scartoph and Ben. It will be a nice, fun little time, and I'll be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. So let's, is Connor live? Is Connor live? He's not live? Why is he not live? It's Fortnite Friday. Yeah, I can raid Pookie. I can raid Pookster. All right, we'll raid Pookie. Pookie. By the way, tell Squeaks he is a really good second place. He's actually got a lot better at get to work, and I think if he keeps working at it, he has real potential. I think he's got, like I see that in him. I see that he's got potential. All right. Goodbye. Watch Pookie. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Later. Thank you again, Lina Khan.